Well, good morning. This bright and early morning, I'm trying to wrap up the rebuild of my agency website so that I can launch SharpSpring and get it attached and working correctly because I'll be attaching it to client website here shortly, and I want to make sure I work out any kinks prior to that. Also, SharpSpring. So, uh, what I have to decide are things like what's my old site architecture like? So I don't pay attention to those kinds of things very well anymore. So the old about us permalink is about us. So I need to find my current about if I have one, and it's meet the team you'll be working with. I need to make sure that the slug is matches the old permalink. Okay, so about us, and then I just need to make sure that was using quick edit, and then update. Right now I'm on a staging site, which I will make a backup by pushing my old site into a staging site and then removing it, and then I'll migrate the current staging site into the old one. So a lot of moving parts for that. Um, okay, so that was the about us, and then the blog is probably just called blog. Yep. Okay, so I just need to make sure that that matches. Whoops, I should have just done the quick edit. That's okay. Here we are now. Okay, and yes, the promo is blog. Okay, contact dash us. Go back into pages editor and find my contact. Reach out and say hello as the contact. And what did we say? Let's contact us. Update. And pricing. So pricing is currently located in menu prices. And that's because I discovered in Google Analytics that I was getting a lot of fake traffic to a menu page. And the menu page didn't exist on the website. So why am I getting all of this fake traffic? Because the bounce rate was 100% and I didn't understand it, and it drove the bounce rate for the entire website way down. So I built a pricing page, I stuck it under menu, and then I redirected all menu to menu prices so that that bot or human, whatever the heck it was doing, now had a place to go that wouldn't bounce. I also subsequently filtered those out. Like I disavowed them in Google Analytics, but anyway. So that's a little strange. Menu prices. I'm going to use the rank math to help with making that transition smoother. Because I've got rank math pro and I can redirect more easily. So I'm going to change that. So let's just see. Looks like I got disconnected there. Text came in. So I don't have a pricing page. So I'm going to go ahead and build out a pricing page. Again, best practice, don't publish a blank page. But this is a staging environment, and I've discouraged search engines from crawling it. So hopefully that discouragement will mean we don't have any blank pages getting crawled right now. So we just discovered that I don't have a pricing page and I don't have resources pages. So I'm going to build those and add them into the site architecture. And resources was plural, right? Yep. And then get them added into the menu appropriately. And then I'll go back and I'll start finishing up some of the pages. Okay, so let's get those added to the footer, go to the main menu. Don't forget to click select when you're changing menus in this page. Okay. Oh, snap. Okay, so I have a resources page already added, and it's the dev style guide. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that because that's not for real. I'll add these two over. Hope it's not going to clutter up the top too much. Contact all the way down. I feel like blog needs to go under about. So, save that menu and see what it looks like. Wait for that to finish loading so I know that it's been updated before I open. There we go. I was just watching that little circle up at the top. I'm watching for it to change. Okay. Okay. I've not built that out. I don't know if I like the blog under there. I'm going to pull that back out. All right, it's a little busy. I need to work out what I was doing in order to create a bigger gap there. And make this font size a little bit smaller, or maybe pull out that, yeah, pull out that whatever padding is over there. Okay. So that's the site architecture from all of the main pages. Now I have these tucked under services. These pages don't yet exist on the staging site, so I need to grab them. I'm going to make sure that I rebuild them appropriately. Oh, and I also needed to make sure that I pointed rank math for redirections, right? Okay, so add new. I don't know what the source URL is supposed to contain. Maybe ends with .com. So if they just come straight, no, that's it. Menu prices or menu pricing? So menu prices. Okay, the destination URL is going to be. This is going to have to change again when I push this over to Ostentatious Design, because rank math I don't think is going to change that URL, that destination URL. I'll have to go in and manually do that. And while I'm here, should edit it. So probably redundant, considering that I know that one. But I'm going to go ahead and do it. They all need to go to the same place. Okay. So back to building pages. I know I'm so full of energy this morning. Can you believe it? So fun. All right. So what I'm going to be doing here is rebuilding those services pages. And then I'll be grabbing the content from the live site, bringing it in here, tidying up the formatting, and might be almost close to finished for that. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, so that was the first service. Now I need to go to search engine optimization, which is just SEO. And I feel like that's missing an opportunity for keywords. So I'm gonna see that. I'm also gonna go and add a redirection to that. I think that's all it was, right? Just SEO. I could send it into a loop. I'm not sure about this. Actually, I don't want to send it into a loop because the new destination URL will have SEO at the end too. So I'll pull it out. Right in the beginning. I want it in keyword reference. So we need to go and update that permalink structure, have SEO at the beginning. So those match. Then the next service is web design. I know this is a lot of fun, right? Man, this is all I do. Just go through, make these changes, and pay attention to them because it's these small things that make a big difference. You know, when you start overhauling somebody's website, for example, you're like, oh yeah, I'll build you a new website. And they've got a pretty big website, different blogs, and they've got a small website. We tend to get so wrapped up in the process as developers of rebuilding that we forget search engine optimization stuff, best practices. And that's not okay. You just can't afford to forget. You have to take care of every single little piece, whether it's your own site or your client's site. I've got a client right now who had their website rebuilt. It's kind of like a phase 2 until phase 3 can be rolled out, which I hope to be responsible for. And the phase 2 builders neglected to match, or as you saw with the use of rank math, redirect the old site architecture. So there are a handful, 2 or 3 404s that don't need to be there. This should be social media marketing, and I'm gonna update that to social media marketing as well. This with the acronym that we use, and then I'll go and I'll build a redirect for social marketing to go to social media marketing. And you need to put the SNM there because I don't know if I did in the permalink for the page I just built. No, gotta make sure they all match. And we're almost done. So we've got graphic design. Right? There's no acronym associated with that, so I'm not going to try and build one in. And we've got content writing. Sometimes this is sold as copywriting. Not like a copyright, but write copy. But for the very large part, writing copy fits under the umbrella of content writing. So I'm just going to keep that. I think that needs recooking. And last but not least is the search engine marketing. I'm totally changing this. All right, we're going to change that. Whatever it is that we build right now. I always do M R. Anyways, yeah, looks good. So, see how quickly these can add up, and this is a relatively speaking a very small site. So what we're doing here is built all our redirects. Okay, now we need to go back into the menu. And I prefer going to this menu as opposed to the one inside the customizer because you can more easily drag and drop. Okay, so we're going to add all of those to the menu. I'm going to change up the order for a very long time, probably 3.5 years. All I was doing was focusing on AMP, which at the time stood for Accelerated Mobile Pages. And AMP was like amazing. It still is amazing. But it creates issues for digital marketers, primarily in the realm of tracking business. So if you want to use a customer relationship management tool like the big guns, HubSpot, or Salesforce Pardot or Marketo or my preference SharpSpring. They all have a little tracking pixel that fires as soon as somebody loads a website, and then that initiates a conversation between your browser window that the visitor is using and your CRM, and says, oh, they've opened this page, they clicked on this image, they scrolled down to this depth, they clicked on this page, they went back to that page, oh, they're gone. Oh, they're back. So it's that conversation where you can then literally see where they've been on your website and how much time they spent, when they came, what pages they went to, what images. Anyway, so that tracking pixel that initiates the conversation. When you're building AMP websites with WordPress, you're using a plugin built by some geniuses at Automatic and company. So like XWP and Google and some other companies all kind of work together. And that plugin is amazing, but what it does is it takes that tracking pixel and it says, you don't exist. And so all of that cool stuff that you could do, you can't. And yeah, it's supposed to be super, super, super fast load times, right? So let's go to my website. Let's log in and make sure that we're updated to the latest version of AMP. And let's just do a quick comparison, because my AMPed websites were super, super fast in comparison to every other WordPress built website I had ever seen. Like, I never found maybe about one or two that could compete with my websites. Just they couldn't, because AMP is incredible. That's what it's built to do, is accelerate your pages, right? I'm going to ignore those comments, by the way. I see them too. So we're up to date. So AMP's supposed to be really amazing, and then I go and I'm experimenting because I teach boot camp, digital marketing boot camp for UT. And hi students, if you're watching. And so I was going to teach them a side course on WordPress, and they aren't ready for AMP because there's a lot of coding customizations that are kind of integrated into the build that you just have to know how to do. So I was researching, an alternative that could compete closely, even just close. And I found one that was better as far as page load speed, performance, Lighthouse scores. It was better. I've been dedicated to custom building these darn things for speed for 3+ years. And I found something that was better. I'm like, holy cow, what in the world? Now, I don't know if this is a result of my streaming. This seems like incredibly long for the Lighthouse auditing tool to run. So I'm guessing this first score is going to be really bad on performance. And like I said, I think it's, see, look at that. It just couldn't handle it. And I feel like that may be directly related to trying to stream on a hotspot, running all of these different tools, because even though this emulator isn't part of my machine and my connection, those still are factors in the performance tool, like how it works. Yeah, okay, so let's just say 71 for performance. That's lower than it normally scores, okay? But even still, that's what I came up with right now. So let's look at the staging site. Now, accessibility, good. Best practices, good. SEO, not sure what's going on there. That should be dialed in. the SEO for the current staging site is going to be low because I'm discouraging search engines. So I know that it's going to be a 92 or less because I haven't really dialed it in. Even the performance is going to be lower than I expect because I haven't, or not that I expect, than I hope for, because I haven't dialed in all of the bells and whistles, all of the plugins for performance that I use. But already a massive jump. Now, my current website got 2 runs of the tool, so I'm going to give this one 2 runs of the tool because actually the tool is it pulls live data, and so it's different every single time you run it. Okay. Anyway, having not dialed it up, it outperforms my amped website. I'm just kidding. This is what my children think I do all day long, is just use this tool because I sit here for a very long time. Like a really stupid long time, running and running and rerunning and rerunning, running, rerunning. Okay, so fun's over. You see that it outperformed my accelerated mobile pages website. Anyway, short story, it outperforms. Generate press, generate blocks, cadence blocks are totally outperforming. Ooh. There was a problem I found with my website. The staging one. I'm not sure what's causing. I have a suspicion. Okay, this is the mobile version of my website. Okay. May need to log out to pull that toolbar, but look, on a real phone, and here I can do it too. You see that? That should not happen. I should not be able to pull that out. No, I think I'm able to pull that out because of those animations. So if I kill the animations just for a moment, I suspect that I will have fixed that weird issue. I think that's being caused by those pieces of the site just sitting over there on the side. So I'm gonna unpublish that hook. So this is the animate on scroll CSS hook. See the hook that's built in using the I think this is a generate press feature, not a generate blocks feature. I think this is a generate press feature. And so, and this is the animate on scroll JavaScript that gets added to the footer with a hook in elements. So now I'm going to go reload. Okay, and let's make sure the animations are turned off because, okay, so no movement, right? No movement. Now I'm going to go roughly to the same place and I'm going to try and pull it across. Can't. Yeah, can't. Because basically these pieces are sitting over here, and as you scroll, they're coming in. Well, with them sitting over there, even though they're invisible, they still physically take up space. Okay, so all of those animations, this is kind of a bummer because I really like the animations. I have to be far more judicious in my choices of animations. And I don't think I want any of them to be float in. I think that that's what we're dealing with. So I'm going to turn the animation options back on. And then I'm going to go and look at the animation types, and then I might choose a different one. So real quick, animate on scroll is something that I found, and I wish that was connected. I should have taken notes about where I found it. I'm going to see if I can't re-find it right now and just make sure. Animate on scroll. Stop checking this. Maybe I find that file. I know. Okay. GitHub. That's the library. Yeah. Okay. So this is the website, and I have it bookmarked somewhere. It's been like a long time trying to find them. Okay, so this is the one. I'm just going to grab that piece, internal notes, and that piece, internal notes. I'm going to add both of them to the internal notes for both files, the JavaScript and the CSS, because I want to be able to find it again at a moment's notice and not through a bookmark, because those get kind of lost. Okay. So internal notes could be a good place could have been a better place to put these. Animate on scroll. I've just built a page, left it at draft. It's not going to get published. And this tells me, okay, so fade up, fade down. And I'm not sure which one I'm using. I feel like I'm using fade left. So I'll just go to the home page. I don't remember what flip was. So let's just see. These are fades. Yeah, see that one? And then that one. Those are the fade ups. Okay, flip. That's the one. I like that. I think that will take up the same physical, quote unquote, physical space, right? But it will still do the thing that I want it to do. So each of these has that added to it. Kind of a pain in the bottom. After on the container, I'm going to go down here into the advanced tab and see this fade left, and to just do flip left. Now, all of those are different durations. Okay. I could very quickly just copy the style for this particular container, because I'm using generate blocks, and that's a feature, which is sweet. And then I could highlight this container and paste, and highlight this container and paste. But then I run into the problem that I want the duration slightly different. I want one to take longer than the other, so that there's a marked difference in each of the containers as you go down. So it just needs to be flipped. And what I'm going to do this time is copy it so I can just paste it over. All right. Now, a little trick is I want this to stay open, and then if I go navigate over to this and then find the outsidemost container, and then I lose my space where I am in the editor. But if I use this little stair step to select manually the block that I want to edit, it stays where I'm working. Okay. So I'm currently on this container. I need to go to this container. See what I'm doing? Stair steps, scroll. I'm currently on this container. I need to go to that one. So that just helps like get to the spot a little bit quicker. Gee, I'm saving myself like probably 7 clicks and 15 to 30 seconds. But every piece of savings matters. And it's also less irritation, which I think, from an emotional, psychological perspective is important too. Okay, so those were flip. I believe that this button also has some kind of, yep, flip. I'm going to make that a flip right just so that I can have some variation. I don't remember any movement, no moving parts here. Those are different. This one may have some kind of movement. Not that. That doesn't sit off. I don't think these are moving at all, but they might be. So let's see. It's not a whole lot of buttons. No, this is where I would add it. It doesn't sit there. They're all the same. So I'm going to update the page. So one of the issues with using, and I don't know what the cause is. Like, does it generate press theme? Does it generate blocks? Is it cadence? Is it SiteGround optimizer? Is it Cloudflare CDN? I don't know what is causing the issue. Okay, but all I can tell you is that when you go to the new homepage after making modifications, minor modifications. It's like I didn't add anything, I just changed things. Okay, well, look at that. Yes. Okay, like it. That's all right. I'll take it. It's not as visually stimulating, maybe, but I don't know. It's nice. Okay. Oh, that's a slide in. Let's have a quick chat. And I think I've reused this in a lot of places, which should have turned it into its own reusable block. I should have turned it into its own reusable block. And so maybe I still need to, and then go and update them. Okay, so what I was saying was if I go to the home page, the live homepage, now that I've made these changes, they're not likely to take effect. Let's go see if they've changed. Because they're being cached. And okay, so they did change. Now let's see if I can pull them out. Fixed it. Yes. Can't. Oh, be happy. Be happy, because I can't have that. Okay, so there's a limitation. If it's going to sit on screen, meaning it's small and it's going to float in from like the sidewall, that's fine. It can float in, but it can't float from outside of the viewport. Otherwise, it just pushes the viewport. I think that's maybe the biggest learning right there with the animate on scroll. It is such a cool thing. Every client wants those little animations, but maybe I need to just change them in the mobile version. Okay, so let's just real quick see what happens if I change this one to float left in desktop. Will it flip left in mobile? And the unfortunate answer is no. Be a whole lot cooler if I could. Be a whole lot cooler if I could. All right, all right, all right. I mean, like two of the most iconic phrases in the world created by the same man in the same movie. It's like, you can't get any better. Thank you, Matthew McConaughey, for giving me some of my favorite quotes. Yeah, a whole lot cooler if you did it. Um, okay, we added those. Let's look at the live site. Make sure that they got added to the mobile version of the menu. They did. So I can change these to have a slightly different background to identify them as being part of the sub menu for services. Otherwise, it looks like they're main menu items, and visually, psychologically, that's less informative. So I think that that contrast is okay. I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to go in and make those changes. All right. Whoops. Didn't I close that chat? It's all right. Open it again. Okay. We're getting close, except for the content part. Yay, we're right there. If you want to say hello, you can drop a line in the chat. And if I'm paying attention to this monitor over here, I'll see you and I'll say hi back. If you have a question, you can ask a question there and I'll try to respond live or in chat as well. Okay, what the Hades was I working on? I was going to play with the menus and the colors. Need to go, this is all generate press theme layout in the customizer. And so gotta just go to the colors, buttons, no, off canvas panel. That's what that thing is. Okay. Submenu. See how the background is the same? Okay. So I'm gonna go to it's text current? No. Background hover? No. Let's go down here and see what it is. Okay, so that's hover. Okay. No. Oops, that was accidental. Okay. So you see that slight change is the text current. Which is fine, but that's not what I was going for. Let's go back to home. And the background hover is good, so that's, I think, what I want the sub menu background to be. And then the text needs to be right. And then when you hover, it needs to change. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I think that should be good. So let's see if those changes have taken. There we go. So now it's a clear indication that I'm part of this services. Okay. See that? And I feel like that's important. Maybe it's not. And accessibility wise, I don't know if there's high enough contrast between that background color and the text color, so I'll have to run some tools to figure that out and make sure that I'm being as accessible as possible for the visually impaired. But like I say regularly, those things come later. First, I gotta just build it, and then I'm gonna make it live, push it out, and then I'm gonna start tweaking and making things better. because I got to get this live. ASAP. Okay, so this page is dialed out. It's fine. I'm not loving it. I haven't tweaked the content at all. Side wall is a little strange. Let's see. Yeah, okay, let's look at two things. One, we'll just look at the padding for this. Okay. And we're just using very, very small padding, so 20. And that's the inside container. Okay, so we'll go to this About Us page, which is Meet the Team you'll be working with real quick. I like to open in a new tab so that way I can very quickly get to the next thing. It's having to reload and reload because otherwise you end up with the WordPress icon. Didn't used to always be this way, but it is now. And so you have to click that to then open the dashboard, and then too many clicks takes too long. Every 20-second delay is a 20-second delay. So the container is full width. Let's do the contained width. Okay. And I don't know if that's going to take an effect or not. Yeah, see how it's the same? Okay. So here we are. I preview it, and it'll be different. Just slightly. Oh, snap. That's not good. Okay, I'm going to undo that. And then I need to take a moment to step aside real quick, and I'll be right back. Be right back. So I'm back. Looks like everybody's dropped off. Bummer, but it happens. Okay. So now that we're here, we're going to oh look, it recorded all that time while I was gone. That's weird and unfortunate. Didn't know it was going to do that. So I'm going to stop this and I'll come back.